Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back. My name is Natalie. In this video, we are going to talk about this upcoming week astrology forecast. And we'll end the video with a collective message with tarot and oracle cards. So this video is going to talk about July 15 to 21st, 2024. As we get further down into the summer, the astrology is gonna get a little bit more spicy. So this week is when we will start to see that energy coming in. Let's dive into it. July 15 on Monday, the Sun in Cancer is going to square with Chiron in Aries. So today can feel a little extra tender and perhaps even triggering for some of us, depending on how this is aspecting your own natal chart. But in a more general sense, the Sun in Cancer is asking us to kind of go inward with our emotions. And since it's squaring Chiron in Aries, we might get triggered, or people around us might get triggered easier with perhaps, maybe a song, a conversation, or a thought might come in and it trigger an old wound or trauma or something that you have been healing. And perhaps today the wound might get the wound, the past, or the pain might resurface again today, right? To unfold some emotions or feelings for you. And this is not to make you feel bad. Perhaps this is here to remind you how far you have come, to allow yourself to go another layer deeper, right? It might, sometimes our past or our wounds or our healing journey seems like it's looping back, or sometimes it get reopened, or we feel like we get that cut coming up again, that pain coming up again. Is not to pull us down, but more so to allow us to get in touch with ourselves more, to allow ourselves maybe to open up more, right? And so if you do feel that today, so be a bit more gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to maybe go inward and see what comes up for you. Embrace the emotion. Try not to avoid it, because later on we do have another aspect coming up that will be more helpful and supportive, right? On the 19th, later on during this week, we have Mercury in Leo that is going to trine Chiron in Aries. So this time is a trine, it's supported, it's helpful. Perhaps for some of us, Monday is going to get a bit triggery and emotional. That pain is coming up, is triggering us, is resurfacing. But then we are able to find helpful solution later on 19th. Maybe we decide to embrace it, to communicate it, to express it. Maybe this is through having a conversation with your friends, having a session with your healer, your therapist, your astrologer, or any modalities that you believe in that is able to help you, right? Maybe this is through the thought process, right? Because Mercury talks about our thought process. You're able to, in the next few days, as the week goes, able to process it, able to allow yourself to embrace it, to process it. And on the 19th, this beautiful trine coming in is allow yourself to have a deeper layer of understanding as to why you got triggered and so on and so forth. So this week, if you are feeling this, if this is aspecting your chart heavier, just give yourself some more space and time, if you can, to carve out time for yourself to embrace the emotion, to process them and see what that might mean for you. If you have been watching my previous videos, you know there is an aspect that I want you all to pay extra attention to, and I make separate individual videos to warn you all, right? This is not to fearmonger, again, like I said, but when the aspect comes up, Sometimes it's sunshine and rainbow, and I want you to use this energy to manifest, to co-create, to dream, to take action, to do whatever it is, right? That energy is bringing out. But sometimes it's not sunshine and rainbow, it's rainstorm and thunder, and I want you to be aware of. That's why these forecasts are like weather report, right? If it's gonna rain, I'm gonna tell you. Is it gonna rain? Maybe in some areas, maybe in your area or not, but at least you are aware. You bring an umbrella if you go out, or you choose to stay home instead, right? So this week, that is the aspect I have been talking about, and it's coming up. It's the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. It's going to be exact depending where you are in the world, but I would say, just to make it safe, because it does kind of overlap, this week it's going to happen in the beginning of the week, 15 and 16. So perhaps you have been feeling this conjunction already building up, because like I said, it's going to be exact on 15 and 16, but the energy is there the week before and after. So don't just think, ooh, after 16 is gonna be okay, right? I can just like let loose and not care about it. Just still be a bit mindful the next couple of days. I would say this week, right? And if you have been watching my previous video, you already know this conjunction can be quite volatile, can be even dangerous and violent. It can be fiery, cutting, electrifying, right? Very accident prone. So be extra mindful as you move through your days, as you're handling sharp objects and fire, because that is the Mars. Uranus talks about electricity. Don't get electrocuted, right? There might be shortcuts. There might be power outage that is happening for some of us today, or even in some parts of the world, because I vaguely remember that, I think, was it last year or something like that, we have that Uranus Mars aspect that is happening. I don't know if it's a square or a conjunction or whatnot, but that was when I think it was Texas in the US. If don't quote me on that, and don't come at me if it's wrong, but I think that was when Texas have like a sudden power outage or something like that, right? So watch out for that. Again, this is something that we might not be able to prepare for, because with Uranus, it's sudden, it's out of the blue, it's unexpected. So all we can do is just be extra mindful around our surroundings, with the way we move through everything in the day, and so on and so forth. You might see people popping off, right? This is a very angry aspect, so people might pop off. People can get into accident easier. Like I said, I already saw couple accident yesterday when I was in one bus ride, like 120 minutes bus ride. As I ride through the road, I saw like two already, right? So try to remind yourself to go slow, to have more patience with yourself and others around you. And not saying that, oh my god, I'm just gonna lock myself in the house, in the room, and not do anything, right? But just be a little bit more mindful, like I said, right? On one hand, because I also want to give everything a bit of a positive spin or outtake as well, this conjunction can also serve as a breakthrough energy, right? This can be this, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I need to break free from something that is toxic or not healthy, or that is not good for me, right? So for some, this can be very liberating for you, because you're taking action to break yourself free from something, someone, some situation, or whatever it is in your life that is not good, that is not serving you. So for some, this is great. This is, sometimes we need that force to really force us to take action that is actually good for us ultimately, right? So this can be that aspect this week. Another reminder is that on 17 or 16 for later time zones, Mercury will be officially entering its pre-shadow energy of Mercury retrograde. So when I talk about Mercury retrograde, it's always a three-part story, three-part journey for all of us. So this pre-shadow period is our part 1, right? And it starts on 16-17, and it will be at 21 degrees in Leo. And the part 2 is the actual Mercury retrograde that will take place later on in August, early August 4th, I think, to be correct. Don't quote me on that, but that will happen eventually in the beginning of August. Mercury will retrograde at 4 degrees in Virgo, and it will retrograde back into Leo, 21 degrees. So that is the decree point that Mercury will retrograde. That is the part 2. And the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde is the part 3 of this whole Mercury retrograde journey. So the way it works is that if you want to, take a mental note, be a little bit mindful, remember it or journal it down or whatever, as you move through your days, different areas of your life from now until we have the actual Mercury retrograde, right? Because the chances are during Mercury retrograde, you might find yourself coming back into the conversations that you're having during this time, or the thoughts that you have been processing, or some events, incident that might have been taking place during this time. It will ask you to come back to rethink, reevaluate, readjust, all the RE words during the actual Mercury retrograde period. So take a note and see what's happening, what are you talking about, who are you talking to, what thoughts comes in around this point onwards before the actual Mercury retrograde. And take a look and see which houses are ruled by Leo and Virgo, because these are the themes and topics that you will be working on during this upcoming Mercury retrograde for yourself. So look at your natal chart and check that as well. On July 18, we have the Sun in Cancer having a sextile with Uranus in Taurus. So this is nice. This is some kind of helpful and supportive information or solution coming in today. It can even come as a surprise, like a unexpected good news or some helpful information that just come in that able to help you to move through something that you're experiencing in life, right? And with Cancer and Taurus, this can be maybe you have a good news on your investment, right? Taurus, about personal finance and so on and so forth. It can be something that brings you joy, brings you happiness. Since this is talking about this Cancer, this can be related to not just you but your family, you know, people that are close to you. Because it's Cancer season, this might be what that is about, right? Some good news, some good things happening at home as well, right? Or for some, this is just more of a general, you found the solution, some helpful information coming in, or someone is giving you help today to help you move through something in life. Lastly, on 21st, big day, we have Mars entering Gemini on July 21st, 4:43 a.m. Hong Kong time, or July 20th, 4:43 p.m. Eastern time. So adjust the time according to where you are in the world. Mars, the planet of action, fire, warrior, cutting, is going to enter the sign of Gemini. 2 years ago in 2022, Mars also entered Gemini, and we have a never-ending Mars retrograde in Gemini. We have like 7 or 8, like a long time of Mars in Gemini. So for some, maybe you will recall what was happening during that time. Maybe perhaps some of the themes might come up again for you during this time. right? Take a look and see which house is ruled by Gemini. Mars is coming in to energize that house that is ruled by Gemini. But get ready to get into argument, confrontation, and debates with people during this Mars and Gemini transit, because Gemini is that mental energy. It's the way we communicate, the way we express ourselves, the way we think, we process information. With Mars being there, it's going to energize everything Gemini talks about. So while this can be, yes, very argumentative, very like debate energy, like you feel like every conversation feels like a fight, right? It feels like you have to stand your ground and like talk back, or you feel like someone is constantly like talking back to you in a conversation, or everyone is just trying to express their point of view and it sounds like an argument, it sounds like a debate, right? Or you find yourself very easily agitated and you find yourself wanting to fight about everything, right? That is the Martian energy when it's in Gemini. It's about our thoughts, our communication, right? But at the same time, energy goes both ways. Mars in Gemini can be that drive, that energy that makes you want to dig deep and find out more information, find the answer you want. You're gonna be extra curious perhaps, and that is what drives you to gather information and data. That is the drive to allow you to dig out information that you need, find solution, answer that you're looking for. And this might be a very helpful transit for some, right? And for some, this is you feeling that urge to really you're very curious about certain subject and you are wanting to learn something new. Maybe this is a time, Mars in Gemini is when you want to know this and learn about that, and there is overstimulating and you have like 5 books that you're reading, but you end up not able to read them all because you just like open too many tabs. So be mindful with that energy too. This can definitely be a transit that is very heavy on our mind. Why do I say that? It might sound biased, but I am a little worried about this transit because not only we have Mars in Gemini, Jupiter is also there. So right when Mars enters Gemini, it's already creating that expansion energy with Jupiter in the same sign. And as we go further down the weeks, they're going to get closer and closer and closer, and eventually they're going to conjunct, meaning they come to exact, they're going to be on the same degree point in August 14-15, so mid-August, right? That's when the energy peaks and come into a climax. And I'm very worried, to be honest, because when this energy get blown up, of course, in a good way, there's like amazing news, there's some breakthrough of something that you're working on, or on a collective level, there's some breakthrough news, right? But this is very worrisome because this can also be, on the other way, a really big accident, right? This can be some kind of world stage argument or debate. And I don't know if the presidential debate is going to take place again around this time. Maybe, maybe not. But if you know, drop it in the comment, let me know. I don't know, maybe around this time, right? So we are definitely going to see some crazy news headline during this transit. And I don't know, I just feel like it's too much, right? When I look at this transit, all I can think of is overstimulating, overwhelming, and it's just way too much on our mental energy. So you might find yourself easily triggered, annoyed, stressed, overthinking over everything. So please, please, please try, now that you know, it's great. It's not to create fear, but allow you to know ahead what is coming in so that you can space out your schedule. You can remind yourself to slow down, to not pack everything you want to do and learn, right? To carve out time where you are not always engaging with social media, news, and everything that can just stress out your mental energy, right? Have good practice that is able to calm you down from this overstimulating world that we're living in, especially this upcoming month with Mars in Gemini and having Jupiter there at the same time, especially around mid-August, right? But I will say during this whole Mars and Gemini transit, if you're able to, try not to rush, try not to, because Gemini talks about transportation, so I don't know, I don't want this to happen, but the energy is there, so be extra careful when you're out on the street. Please do not jaywalk, please do not drink and drive, please do not run that yellow red light, because this is a energy that will amplify transportation related accident, right? So if you already know, be extra mindful and remind others as well, right? It's a no-brainer. It should be a no-brainer. It should be a common sense, but it's not. So if you're watching this, please be extra mindful and remind others as well. Maybe share this video or share this message, right? I'm so sorry I'm using so many right. It feels like I'm lecturing, but I'm not. I'm just like, because I care, so that's why I want to share, and I hope that you find it helpful in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, during this transit, please carve out time for yourself to wind down. Maybe this is meditation, this is breath work, this is simply maybe whenever you feel like there's too much going on in your mind, from outside, from other people, from everything, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths for yourself and just tune out everything. Maybe this is that 10-20 seconds you need to able to find your breath, to find your center again. So have that quick practice. That is something that I have, that I will use whenever I'm outside, in my room, wherever I am. I feel just, oh my god, just take a break. Everybody can take a break for 10-20 seconds to just close your eyes, find your breath, take 3 deep breaths to find your center again, to find your calm again. And Mars will stay in Gemini until September 4 to 5th, depending where you are in the world. We'll continue to talk about this transit as we move through the next month or so. And also on the same day, we're going to have our Capricorn full moon, which I'll do a separate video and we'll talk about it as well. So just be mindful with all this information that is coming up for this upcoming week. And now let's take a look at our collective message. My goodness, we have all 3 major arcana in our tarot card, okay? And of course we have Tower with all these aspects, especially that Mars-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus earlier in the week. So this week, really please, right? If you can, try not to rush, try not to be impulsive. And sometimes for us it's inevitable, right? Because with Uranus, it's unexpected, it's out of the blue. And if that's the case, you know, all you can do is just be prepared. And if it does happen, just know that maybe this is not happening to you, but for you. Maybe some incident happened, but able to save you from an even bigger thing that might happen later on, right? So for some, this really is about balancing your energy, balancing your schedule. Don't overwhelm yourself so that you can prevent some kind of accident or whatnot. For some, this week you might really find out some truth that is going to ultimately serve you, even though it might not feel like that, right? For some, this is able to, through this tense aspect, able to find the answer and clarity that you need, even though it might not be something you want. And for some, this is finding justice, right? This is about the justice serves if you're going through something legal. Maybe this week is that aha moment where the results are coming out. It might be a bit sudden, right? But try to look at the good and the bad, try to balance it, right? And this is about knowing what's ahead, be prepared for it, and kind of adjust our expectation and our energy to certain things or situation in life. Know that there's always an element of surprise that we cannot control. What we can control is the way we deal with it, the way we face it, the way we look at it from a bigger picture, right? So this is about really balancing the masculine and the feminine energy within us, knowing that perhaps this week might not be super easy breezy. It might involve some sudden changes or shifts, or some accidents even, or sudden turn of events. But how can we not allow ourselves to spiral? But because we know that there's a possibility of that happening, we adjust our expectation. We be more mindful with the way we take everything and try to be responsive instead of reactive. So I hope this helps. Our Monology card. Full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. Yes, everybody, please. I know it's really easier said than done, right? Cool your emotions. Sometimes when things hit, you just cannot. And maybe for some, this is what you need, right? That eruption is here to help you to break through and break free from something. But for some, is be mindful with this energy, whether this is you or others around you. People might just pop off, right? But you can choose to not engage with it. You can choose to not involve yourself in it. And maybe for some, this is be the bigger person. Sometimes we might just have to be the bigger person. No, because this transit is happening, it's affecting everyone, you included. So now that you know, you can share this information, or you can adjust yourself. And then we have full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. And we are having that second and final full moon in Capricorn this weekend. I feel like all this energy, for some, not all, and with that full moon, it's really shining a light in something, on something that we have to look at, that is going to not be the easiest thing. It might be a tough situation that you need to look at, but ultimately it allows you to do some kind of changes or shift that you need in order to bring yourself to the next chapter, or to face some kind of situation as well. Lastly, our oracle card, Yang. So this really fiery masculine Yang energy is coming out to remind us about all the aspects that is happening for us this week, and especially with Mars in Gemini for the next month and a half, right, until early September. This is a reminder that we can choose how we use this energy. Mars in Gemini, or this upcoming with all this Martian energy, yes, we can use this energy to help us to move through any stuck situation, to gain clarity or answer that we need. But if we're not careful, this can be very impulsive, volatile, and even violent energy. But we get to choose whether to use it in a helpful way or that is in detriment for ourselves, right? We cannot control how people will use this energy around us, but we can definitely control how we respond to them. So I hope this message helps. Feel free to comment below. I know it feels like a bit of a not as positive week, but again, like I said, the energy here is to remind us how to move through the week. Now that we know, we can prepare ourselves. So feel free to comment below, come back at the end of the week, let me know how this week goes for you. And I am wishing you all a great week ahead. Go slow, be extra patient and mindful with everything and yourself and others around you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're interested to work with me, I offer all kinds of astrology readings, tarot and akashic records reading. My information are in the description box below. Feel free to contact me there or my IG. Follow me there as well. I post all my events sometime live as well over there. So that is another way to connect with me. And I am wishing you all a great week ahead. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.